This is a diary of my beauty recommendations. So, um, it's easy to feel ugly, and it's not as easy to feel beautiful. So, I guess I was looking for a way to feel beautiful more often. And it feels like beauty is something that you should just have inherently. It's not something that you should possess and lose on a constant basis. That supposedly you're beautiful, but you could just have maybe every day, maybe every couple days, or maybe every week, become or turn into the status where you're not beautiful, or where you were beautiful, or you are generally beautiful, but just not now. So I felt like beauty was something that I should capture and then be able to possess and not lose possession of. So I figured out all of these ways that I could possess that beauty and that it would never go from me. And beauty is designed for procreation. Men love women who are beautiful, and they tend to not love you if you're not beautiful. If you're beautiful, you could do any number of things or mistreat people even, and they will still praise you just because you're beautiful. If you try those same behaviors and you're not beautiful, then you will suffer. You'll retain a low status and you'll suffer. And no one will tolerate you unless you compensate for not having the beauty. So beauty is a powerful possession, and beauty is how you get love. So when you're not beautiful, you tend to be less loved. So I wanted to find a way to possess the beauty and not have it leave me ever. So one thing I found is that uh, as soon as I feel anytime during the day that I'm not pretty, I rinse my face with water, because water is integral to the skin, and the skin is an organ, and it's the biggest organ on the body, and it's designed to soak in water and hold the water. So I found the first thing, as soon as I start to feel unpretty, maybe it's because of my relationships or something that happened in the day, or I ate a bunch of food and now I feel fat. But if I put water all over my face and let my face take in the water, then it helps kind of dampen the feelings of ugliness. So the second thing I learned about beauty is, there is a part of your brain that is designed for your identity, and it's called the parietal lobe. It's designed to distinguish who you are, and retain your identity. And the way that it retains your identity and who you are is by mapping out the parts of your body. So the first thing you can know about who you are is that you're in a body. That's your body. And that might be connected to why beauty is like the archetype of your identity, is being beautiful. So the brain, it's the parietal lobe. It sits about right here on both sides. So you have your prefrontal lobe, your frontal lobe, your motor cortex and supplementary motor cortex is for your movement, and then you have your temporal lobes for your hearing, and you have your parietal lobes. So they are perched up here at the top of your head, and they're just big giant sections, and they're arranged to map out your body. And the way that they do that is like the slice of a pizza. It's like eyes, ears, nose, mouth, neck, chest, arms, legs. And it's remarkable that this section is also like a very connected to distinguishing yourself as a human being and everything that's not you. So everything that's me is in this body, and everything that's not me is not in this body. And that's how they say that the parietal lobe distinguishes you from other people. It's basically your relationship from the self versus other. It's because the self is this body. And what's remarkable about the parietal lobe is that there is a huge amount of space dedicated to your face and your hands compared to anything else in the body. And it makes sense because your senses are how you take in the world and experience the world. And all of your senses, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, are all like right here, except for touch. But and even touch is up here too. But everything's right there. All like pretty much the whole, meaningfulness in life, your senses are all right here. And there's a huge amount of space dedicated to to this, just your head in that parietal lobe, which is yourself. And there's a huge amount of space dedicated to your fingers too, so your hands. And you may not realize how remarkable your hands are, but you do touch everything and grab and communicate, and everything that you do in the world is usually, this is just a mobile unit here, but these and this is how everything happens in the world for you. So there's a huge amount of space dedicated to it. And I think that lends itself a little bit to how if flush your face in water, then you stop feeling ugly. Or if just ate a plate of food and you feel satisfied, but now you feel like a fat, globby loser, nobody who no one will ever love, then you can just go rinse your face and maybe take in a little water through your nose to rinse out your nose and rinse out your mouth with water only. That will take the residue of the food out of your mouth. So maybe you had spicy Chinese food or something. Take that out of your mouth, take it out of your nose, and rinse your face. Then all of a sudden, I don't feel like leftover Chinese food. I feel like me again. So it's very remarkable. And so just I guess it's that, when you get old and your body loses its ability to retain the moisture and you start looking like a 90-year-old grandma and you feel ugly, or you're ugly, and of course nobody's very much interested in you anymore, even though you have the experience of the entire world in your heart. But you're ugly. So you're not very, I don't know, they feel like there's less benefit of communicating with you. So you lose that ability to retain moisture, and so you shrivel up. And you shrivel up every day. That's why they say, oh, you need water every day, you need to hydrate. Yeah, but not through your stomach, because your body can't transfer all of that water. It's just like how, like, if you're in the gym and you're working out and you're lifting weights, there comes a point where all that lactic acid builds up and you can't. And the reason is because your body is taking energy out of your blood. And then it reaches a threshold where you were moving so fast because you're awesome, and your metabolism is not accelerating at that rate. So you slip out of your threshold. And water is like that too. So taking in what I was gonna say. So you can't drink water enough to accelerate into that threshold of where because your skin needs water, and your skin's never going to get enough water through your stomach. It's never going to get enough water through your stomach. You have to take it in. Your skin is like your blood. You have to take it in here. That's why the skin is designed to soak in water. And that's why if you splash your face with water, it revives you. You can splash it with hot water to absorb, and then right after the hot water, splash it with cold water to close your pores and to hold that water in. Don't leave your pores open from the heat. Close the pores and splash that cold water on afterwards, and close up those pores and for revival, because the cold revives you and kind of shrinks those pores back, so it tightens up your face and then holds the water in like a flower. So it revives you and you know it immediately. So the face and the hands are hugely connected to your identity. And, so feeling beautiful all the time can be hugely connected to just those face and hands. That's why also, apart from using water to revive you and to rehydrate your skin, which will instantly regenerate the surface cells and make you look younger immediately, because you're not shriveling up. Your skin's not shriveled like an old raisin. Then uh, is your hands. So girls who love having their nails really long or love having their nails done with acrylic nails and false nails know that if you're having a bad day and you feel bad about yourself and you hit the beauty salon and you get your acrylic nails done, you will drive home feeling like sunshine. You will feel better just from having your nails done. And you also, over time, as you're wearing those nails and going throughout your day and click, 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 and, drinking your coffee, having your nails done and everything you do. And also it makes it so like when your nails are really long, things that you were able to do before become harder. Like it's harder to do things. And so what happens is that you either do it more daintily, and more delicately because your nails are so long, or you don't do it because your nails are too long, so that you just like cannot accomplish things. So it's almost like as a princess. A princess has maids wash her for herself in her bath, and to get her clothes for her and hand her clothes and help her put her clothes on. So when kind of step back from all the routines of doing things because your nails are too long, then you kind of feel like that princess status where I'm not doing things. So having your nails with acrylic nails is really great. I love it. And the only problem is, not having acrylic nails. If you use regular nail polish, your nail polish will tend to break and chip and leave like gaps in your beautiful nail work, or in the nail coloring, um, over time. So especially from water. So that kind of if you want to preserve your nails in order to not have it to be walking around with, your nails kind of chipped like an old paint from a house, and to have them looking great all the time and have the nail polish firm and unbroken, is dishes. Doing dishes and washing dishes also lends itself to beauty. So if you want to feel beautiful, it's hard to do that in an environment that's not beautiful. And the first doorway to beauty is cleanliness. And they teach that in religion. And in religion, their ultimatum to religiousness is purity, and purity is cleanliness. And there is nothing that's more connected to purity than to be clean and to have cleanliness. So one thing I understood, about the environment and the cleanliness is that if you spend a lot of time cleaning every day, or if you 2 or 3 times a week spend a long time cleaning and you're like doing all this cleaning, then when you're done, you don't feel beautiful. Like you may feel accomplished, but you don't feel beautiful because you were just scrubbing, cleaning, all of these things. So it takes away from your feelings of beauty. But imagine you're a princess and you never have to clean, but everything's just always clean. Everything around you is just always clean, but you never have to do any of the work. And you don't have to afford a maid to be able to accomplish this. And you don't have to have people, like other people, cleaning up your dirtiness to feel beautiful, because that kind of defeats the purpose. It's, you know, you have to be cleaned up after, because now you have this whole other person who's dedicated to your dirtiness, to like offset the fact that you're dirty and unclean, and this other person is taking the burden on their shoulders of how dirty you are. So that's not very lending itself to your beauty either. So what would be ideal is just that you were just magically clean, everything was magically clean all the time, and you don't have to clean on a regular basis either. So the way to do that is mission impossible, find a way. Find a way to do this, to accomplish all this. So what I learned to do is how am I gonna not have to do dishes like ever, and not have to clean on a regular basis? One thing is that if you use a cup, take it out of your room when you're done with your cup, or take it out of your space. And whatever you're using or your snack, as soon as you're done with it, take it out of your space. Whatever you're doing and using, if you're doing your makeup, as soon as you're done, immediately put it back in its spot. So just like put it back. As soon as you're done using it, put it back. So that's like part of the process. So what I would do then is I would have a bowl of cereal. I would eat the cereal, and then as soon as I was done with the cereal, I would take it to the kitchen and rinse it out with water, and take the little scrub brush and roll it around and rinse it and put it in the drying rack. Done. I would never have to do dishes, because everything that I've eaten and taken, I immediately take that. If I was cooking with a pan, I immediately take the pan to the sink, run the hot water on it, soap, scrub brush, and it's done. There will never be dirty dishes sitting around. Everything will be immediately always clean, always clean. And your personal space as well. There won't be a pile of dishes ever. So that lends itself to beauty, and also the fact of never having to do dishes. If you have to sit there with soapy water and wash those dishes, it's going to ruin your nails after just a couple of days, and you don't want to have to constantly be redoing beauty things in order to be beautiful. So another thing I learned is is the being feminine. Being feminine is like the ultimate way for a female to to feel beautiful, and there's a heavy burden that lays on women to be beautiful, and so I think that beauty is especially connected to femininity because if a female is not beautiful, she's less likely to procreate. All the beautiful girls, the guys want to inseminate them. And all the beautiful girls. So if you're beautiful, you're going to be loved, most likely. Okay. So, uh, so the femininity thing, so I realized is you have to be beautiful at all times. And another way of doing that is hair removal. So with women, shaving your legs is a feminine thing. It's something that's kind of expected of females. Females are expected to have clean shaven legs, but not to have unshaven legs. And laser surgery is kind of like intimidating kind of thing, and also unaffordable. So shaving your legs, like, every other day or every 2 days, shaving can be a long process, only if you allow it to be. So what I found is I wanted my legs to be shaven every day. I wanted to look, I wanted my legs to look perfect every day, and I wanted to never lose the beauty. So when your leg hairs grow in, then they're less beautiful. In popular opinion, less beautiful. And, you can have guys say, "Oh, I love you just the way you are. Oh, you're not less beautiful when your legs hairs are longer." But it's just not true. You are less beautiful when your leg hairs are longer. You are more beautiful when your legs are perfectly shaven. Have you ever seen those Venus shaver commercials or any of the shaving commercials for like legs where she has perfectly clean shaven legs and she's running on the beach and she's perfect? You are more beautiful when your legs are shaven, so you get ugly every time your legs are not shaven, so therefore you must shave every day if you want to possess beauty and never lose your beauty. So I got into the a routine of shaving every time I shower, every day. Every day I shave. And it was a long process, and I'm realizing, oh my God, you can't like spend like half an hour in the shower like every day. Like this is very exhausting and to shave every day. So what I realized is that you can shave fast. You do not have to shave slow in order to shave perfectly. And especially if you shave every single day, then you're going to be able to just take the shaver and just go zip, 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 rinse, zip, zip, zip. That took me 10 seconds. And especially the lower, if you can't do your upper leg shaving every single day, you don't have to. But if you shave this lower part of your leg every single day, then you're going to be quicker. After a few weeks, you're going to be really quick at shaving, and your legs are going to be flawless. You're not going to miss hairs. Okay, maybe you slip up a few times and, oh, you missed one little hair or something like that. So take the shaver on your wet skin and just shave over it and get rid of that extra little, sliver of hair. But you're probably going to get it down flawlessly. When you're waitressing, when you clear the tables from all the food, why are you taking your time? clearing the table. No, this is not the beautiful aspect. And it's also like when they're receiving the food from you, the joy of receiving it is speedily like, oh, my food is here and it's so good and it didn't take long at all. Oh, this makes it even better. This is so enjoyable. So when you're shaving your legs, why are you slow turtle moving? Why are you making this harder than it has to be? When you're doing your dishes and when you're cleaning what you're cooking, why are you dragging this out and wasting your precious life? You could do the same 10-minute job in 5 minutes if you just ship, 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 ship. Get it done. Don't make it your hobby to do chores. You can do it really quick and you can be perfectly beautiful all the time. So your legs is another huge aspect of it, is when your legs are, shaven all the time perfectly, then it lends itself to your feeling of beautiful. So the number one thing about being beautiful is that you never want to not be beautiful. You never want to have a lazy day. You want to be perfectly beautiful every single day, all the time. And as soon as you start to feel unbeautiful, you need to immediately halt that process. So the other biggest aspect of beauty is your clothing, because your clothing is the biggest thing. Your body, so your brain is taking up, and your identity is taking up all of this area, brain power, on your face and your hands. But your body is the biggest thing on you, and your body is wearing clothes. So what you wear, and this is also hugely lending itself to femininity. So if you want to be feminine, there are clothings that lend itself to feeling feminine, and everybody knows that when you have beautiful clothes on that you feel comfortable in and you feel beautiful in, when you wear a tight mini dress bodycon and your boobs are pushed up and your hair is like, Pamela Anderson, you feel beautiful. You feel beautiful. And it does it. When you put on those high heels and that mini dress and you walk around your house, you feel beautiful. You don't have to go to the club, and you feel beautiful. And when you wear your sweatpants and your big oversized sweater and you're lounging on your bed with your hair in a bun, you do not feel beautiful like you did when you were wearing that dress with your chest pushed up, with your hair perfect, long, and flowing. You will never feel equal. And if you were to stand a girl in a dress next to a girl wearing pants, that girl wearing pants will have the hardest time ever comparing to the feeling of beauty that girl in that dress is going to feel, even if it's not that pretty of a dress. So the other thing that lends itself hugely to femininity are the dresses. The dresses which we kind of lost when we had to go into the field of working. When we left our homes, caretaking for our children, and went out into the working world, pants were very important. And I worked a job where I had to wear pants. I had to wear jeans. And I kind of countered that with like really long sweaters that were tight. So it kind of like mimicked it, and with the color pink, because there's nothing more feminine than pink. Blue lends itself to boys, and pink lends itself to girls and feeling beautiful and feeling like a female. So there is a beauty doctrine that's called Color Me Beautiful. And it was made by a makeup company. I think it was CoverGirl. It was made by a makeup company back in 1950s or 70s or 80s. Can't remember. It's called Color Me Beautiful. And it said that there are 4 seasons of a year. spring, summer, fall, and winter. And even though you may live in a warmer climate, the warmth and the coolness is still um, is still has an effect on your climate, and you feel those changes because the warmth and the cold is coming from not just your position on the planet and your nearness to the equator, but because the Earth is physically farther away from the sun. It's closer to the sun in the summer and farther away during the winter. And even if you are in a warmer climate, you still will feel those those the warmth and cold changes because of the nearness or closeness from the sun. So you will have seasons, and there are different colors that lend themselves to different seasons. So there are spring colors, there are summer colors, there are fall colors, and there are winter colors. And when you live in a colder climate, those fall and winter colors become richer, deeper, and more saturated than they would in a different climate. So if you're in a Florida climate or in a warm climate like Saudi Arabia, where it's always it tends to be warm more days of the year, your spring summer colors are going to be still more impactful in the fall winter time period. So that's why they tend to have like, depending on your culture, if you're from a country that is in a warmer climate, you tend to find that these people, not only is their skin different color, but their wardrobes, their clothings tend to hold different colors more popular than they would. But if you were to go like into a colder climate, you're gonna see like these more bleak, whitewashed colors that you wouldn't find in a warmer climate. They're just going to be kind of inherently in the wardrobe. And if you try to like take a northerner person and you bring them to the south and they have their suitcase full of their northerner clothing, you kind of can pick them out and notice them because they have all these wardrobe colors that looked different than than what would normally be in the summer climate. Like in Florida, I can wear a wardrobe of colorful, bright, vibrant, tropical flowers, beach colors that when I brought them up here to the north, a suitcase full of Florida clothes, I felt so out of place. I felt like, oh my gosh, like all of my dresses that I put so much money and effort into having this wardrobe for Florida, and I look perfect and beautiful all the time in Florida. Now I bring them up north and I look like a weirdo. So I've explained a lot about colors and about beauty and extra beauty things and how you should be beautiful all the time and never not be beautiful. And that kind of lends itself to, what your position is. I guess if you're like scaling yourself and someone says like you're a 10 or you're a 9 or you're an 8 or you're a 6 or you're a 4 out of 10 in beauty, then, that kind of lends itself to your grading. Like, I don't want to be a 4. Yeah, okay, maybe I am a 4. But I don't want to feel like a 4. I don't want to be a 4, and I definitely don't want to be a 2. So I'm trying to like hold myself at that beauty, hold myself on that scale, and not let them shake me from that scale of beauty to they knock me down to a number 1. So I've explained so much already, and I'm getting exhausted from it. So I would like to explain a lot about color and beauty and the fact that your body is like this billboard. It's like you walk into a room and you're experiencing everything here and here, but yet your body mass is all this. It's like You walk into the room, it's like bing, 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 here, which is so little represented in your actual brain, but so largely represented in your actual environment. And if you watch like bigger women who are overweight, and you watch them and they look good all right here, it doesn't matter how fat she is. She looks really good. She looks better than you, and she looks banging. She looks freaking hot. She looks really, really good, and she's fatter than you, and there's nothing that you can do with your skinny little body to beat that. If she looks good in her clothes, if her clothes look good, she will beat you every day of the week if your clothes are not as good. So you don't have to go out and get Gucci and Louis Vuitton and like, Dolce & Gabbana in order to look good. You don't have to wear Nike and Adidas all the time to look good here on this whole billboard of representation of you to the outside world. You don't have to do that. You just have to look good, and it does not have anything to do with how many name brands you can put on you. But I would like to represent that in a video, and I'm exhausted now from everything I already have described.